Okay, this is not a long video. This is a pretty decent one. Remember a couple months ago when Brittney Griner got detained by Russia and down there? Well, she's still being detained right now. And, WNBA, United States has been finding it hard to get back home. She needs to come home. Over vape cartridges, that's what the whole thing is all about. But here we go. We're going to roll this out. It's called WNBA star wrongfully detained by Russian officials. U.S. official Brittney Griner wrongfully detained. Here we go. I'm just going to let it roll.
Brittney Griner is, in fact, a hostage. She's a hostage. The American government has basically said so. Let's put a picture up for mass. The Biden administration has determined that WNBA star Brittney Griner is, in fact, a hostage. Now, they are saying things like wrongfully detained in Russia. Let me break this down, okay? Griner's agent, Lindsay Kalos, said, quote, Brittney has been detained for 75 days, and our expectation is that the White House do whatever is necessary to bring her home. So this may get more news and more press as the week continues. ESPN first reported the classification in Griner's case. 2 United States officials confirmed it on the condition of anonymity because they are not authorized to discuss it by name. So they're trying to keep this top secret, hush, hush, but she is, in fact, a hostage. I will provide background. It was unclear what prompted the shift in approach to Griner's case, though President Joe Biden's administration had been under pressure from members of Congress and others to make her release a priority. Additional background. Griner was detained at an airport in February after Russian authorities said a search of her bag revealed vape cartridges containing an oil derived from cannabis. Since then, U.S. officials stopped short of classifying the Phoenix Mercury player as wrongfully detained and said instead that their focus was on ensuring she had access in jail to American consular affairs officials. Okay? Now, the U.S. officials, even though they've shifted supervision of her case to a State Department section, the Office of the Special Presidential Envoy for Hostage Affairs. You heard that right. Hostage affairs.
Hostage affairs.
That is focused on negotiating for the release of hostages and other Americans classified as being
keep in mind, there was a hostage held in Russia as well.
Other countries.
Just recently got released.
They have been saying this from day one. Here's the reality of what's happening. She's stuck. She's trapped. She's a hostage in a foreign nation. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, before all of this went down, the State Department was aware that Russian authorities were looking to wrongfully detain American citizens. You know why I know the State Department knew this? Because they said it. They told Americans, don't travel. Russia, they are starting to detain people for questionable things. They were well aware of the operation.
This was at the time when Vladimir Putin
so she's not
was
just wrongfully
going
detained.
to war with
she is, in
Ukraine.
fact, a hostage in Russia. All right. Age, your thoughts on this case?
So the thing we know about Russia and their legal system is that when it comes to convictions, they have over a 99% conviction rate. It is less than 1% in terms of acquittal. So if you're charged with anything, you are going to be convicted. And they know this of Brittney Griner, whether their charges are legit or not. And I completely and totally doubt that. The fact is that the Russian system, as you mentioned, they were looking for Americans to detain, and they happened to get a 2-time gold medalist who happens to be the star of the WNBA. And it's very scary her being there,
she's one of the
in
faces
part
of the
because
WNBA.
we don't know necessarily what the U.S. has to potentially trade for her. We just saw they brought back Trevor Reed in a swap that involved Konstantin Yaronchenko. He was a drug smuggler that we had here in prison, and we knew that Russia wanted him back. The thing is now that that's off the table, there is only one other person, and that's Victor Bout, known as I believe, like the Minister of Death, or that he essentially he's a weapons trafficker. And the thought that the U.S. would trade for her, I don't necessarily know that they would let this weapons trafficker go. And so it's the question of what is the U.S. going to do in terms of getting her out if it's going to be a viable swap. And it's a question of will she be able to get home, or is she going to end up in that system and never necessarily be able to get out since she's facing up to 10 years in prison?
Oh, yeah. And before we get out of here, just one little track note I will mention too. The WNBA and all their teams are going to have a Brittney Griner logo and their initials on all the cars. Yeah, I believe, if I remember correctly, that too they're going to have a BG on their uniform as well too. Yeah, the WNBA kicks off, I think, in a couple days. I believe, if I remember correctly, Seattle Storm tip off on Saturday too. There's a game on the ESPN, I think at 3 o'clock, Merck. I think the Liberty, and I'll forget who it is, but yeah. It's kind of cool that, I was thinking the other day that Sue Bird's come back for one more season. I think it's good, I think Diane Trott's going to play one more season. And Brittney Griner plays for the Phoenix Mercury, if you guys don't remember that. And I think they would love to get her home because she's a two-time gold Olympic. I think she has a couple of WNBA championships as well too. So with that said, I'm out here, Mike Jupp. Peace out.